Hi, it's BK here from BK Gold Detecting, and welcome to another video in the series Finding Your First Gold Nugget. Well, look, to be honest, Eliza and I arrived here yesterday with no intentions of making a video, but towards the end of the day I was working the sidewalls of this gully, and I made a number of finds very close together just behind here, where you can see where I've been digging down there. And I thought this would make the good subject of a video about how to work the sidewalls of a gully. So anyway, before anything, let's just have a quick look at what happened yesterday. Look, I'm just detecting along the edge of the gully here, and I've picked a spot here where we've pulled 3 nuggets out, virtually side by side. Now, because the headphones are on, that doesn't sound very loud, but that's quite good. And it's right next to the other ones, all in this little patch here. The signal's gone from down there. Yep, she's in the scoop. Sorry guys, I don't have my tripod or anything here because I wasn't meant to be making a video. Wow, you know, for all the screaming, it's not very big. But look, gold is gold. I'm really happy with that. I think that's 4, just out of this one bit of sidewall here. Okay, I'm back at camp now and Eliza's wide awake. She's heard there's gold. So, what do you reckon, Eliza?
It's my turn because you picked out the gold already.
Yeah. No, I'm sure there's plenty more out there. This 6,000 is proving to be a killer on the fine gold. What's for dinner, honey?
We have steamed broccoli.
Steamed broccoli, yeah. And
Some chicken.
chicken. Oh, wow, let's have a look. Chicken, my favorite.
The pot.
Oh, wow. Lovely, honey. And some beautiful crispy potatoes there. Have a bit of a feed and then we'll be back out there. Thanks, sweetheart.
You're most welcome.
Look at this. Look at this. Oh, wow. Well, Eliza ducked away after dinner for a detect down by the gully. She's just called to say she's got a target and she's lost it. I'll have to go and find her. Do you think you got it out of the hole?
Yeah. But I don't know where. Like, it's a very hard ground.
Do you want me to have a listen?
Yeah. But I don't know where. It might have splashed somewhere.
Ah. So this was the area that I was working late yesterday when I found the 4 nuggets very close together. And look, you can clearly see here where the red clay comes down and suddenly hits this white clay here. And all of the nuggets were in that level. So anyway, what I'm going to do, I'm going to continue working this, but later on, I'm going to show you some of the old timers' workings that show evidence that they were looking for this white clay. And so in this particular area, it appears that a lot of the gold is actually sitting on that layer. The first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to clear a little bit of the red clay off the top of the white clay down at this level to give me access with a detector to see if I get another target. If I do, I'm going to be a bit excited because that means that there's quite a good run of gold through here. In the old days, the old timers would have just continued up here, taken all the red stuff off the top, and just processed all that white clay. So anyway, before I do anything else, let's dig this out. Look, already I'm into that really sticky white clay there. I'll just show you a piece. This is the clay that I've been finding the targets in, below the red stuff. Yep, there's definitely something in there. Let's have a look. Have a look at this. Lovely little piece of gold there. A little bit of white clay still stuck to it. So look, definitely seems to be gold on the top of that yellowish clay, whitish clay. Just around there was where I got the 4 pieces last night. Look, I'll take a bit of a break and we'll go up and we'll see what Eliza's found. There she is, not far up from the edge of the gully. Let's check it out. Okay, honey, what you got?
Well, for the effort, look, tiny, tiny little one.
Oh yeah, look at that. Beautiful little nugget. Look, I'll be honest with you. I had a quick detect here yesterday, but there was so much junk. Well, it was a bit quieter this morning than it was late yesterday, but we both managed to pick up a piece, and I was working the sidewall and Eliza up on the top. I've got to give it to you, Eliza. You've got a lot more patience than me because there's a lot of junk up there, but Eliza just keeps persisting and she managed to pick up a piece amongst the lead shot. I'm just going to show you some workings close to the van that I mentioned earlier. I'd show you how the old timers were digging down to that white clay. So this hole here, I call them prospecting holes. On the side here, you can see the white clay, the same stuff that I was getting the gold out of in the sidewall. Look, when I was digging the nuggets out of the sidewall, I noticed an area slightly further down the main gully where there was a lot of mullock heaps going up the side of the hill. That's a really good sign. That could be where the gold is making its way into the main gully. So after breakfast, we're going to go there and I'm going to show you or explain to you what we would do when we approach an area like that. This is the area I spoke about over breakfast this morning. There's a series of mullock heaps going up into the hill away from the main gully. Now this gully here was very, very rich. Many big nuggets were pulled out of here. But the fact that these mullock heaps go up away from the gully tells me this was a source of gold. Gold was flowing down the hill here into the gully. Now, I can't keep digging the sidewall forever where I was yesterday. I mean, I'm not a miner, I'm a detectorist. So I thought this is a good opportunity to show you the sort of things that you need to look out for. When you find a spot like this, you need to read the ground and you've just got to be confident that if they were digging up that hill, there has to be gold. There's a number of different approaches I would use here. One would be to go over the tops of the mullock heaps to try and pick up some little bits that they've missed. The other one would be to work my way up the gully to the point where it becomes uneconomic for the old timers. Those areas are great for detecting because we can still pick up nuggets that were just a little bit too sparse for them. Come on, Eliza, I haven't even started detecting yet. What have you found? Right on the edge or the top of a mullock heap, which is a prime spot. Let's have a look, sweetheart. Look at that, tiny little piece, but wow, honey, that is a top start. Well done. Okay.
One in a container.
Oh, she loves it. Just while I'm here, this is the area further up where I'll be detecting. Okay, I'll work my way up the hill. Meanwhile, Eliza will keep going on these mullock heaps. Well, I'm just about to work my way up this line of mullock heaps going up the hill here. But before I go, it looks like Eliza's got another target here. Not far from the last one. Any good, honey?
Tiny, tiny. There.
Just hold it in the sun so we can have a look. Look at that beautiful little nugget. I'm just thinking, maybe I should work the mullock heaps and you go up the top of the hill. No, I know you don't mind, but no, you're the expert here with the 6,000. Dare say you'll pluck out half a dozen before I find one. So you can see here the line of mullock heaps slowly working their way up the hill there. There just has to be gold here. You have to just believe there's gold. If the old timers dug all this out, they didn't do it without a reason. The main gully is down there just beyond where Eliza's detecting. Right down the bottom there is the main gully, which has been completely dug out and was very, very rich in gold. So this is where I'm going to start off. You can see all these mullock heaps here. They're getting smaller and smaller here. As we go up the hill, there's a very small one just over there. This was the point where they decided it wasn't economic anymore. But downhill, there's just hole after hole after hole. So I'm going to work my way around the edge here and see how I go. You notice as you get further away from the main run that the holes that the old timers have dug are getting smaller. The ground's getting shallower, which gives me more chance of picking up a target in natural ground. Make sure you get right under all the bushes if necessary. Pull out anything that's in the way. As I've mentioned many times in the past, these are often places missed by detectorists. You have to be very, very patient with this sort of detecting. You can go a long time without a target, but compared to the tops of the mullock heaps, you've got more chance of getting something a bit bigger here. I'm obviously not the first person here. There's detector holes here. That never puts me off. Many people go through an area and miss nuggets, sometimes by inches. Okay, that's my first target, just a little brass ring there. Don't be put off by this. You will find a lot of junk. You just got to persist.
There you are.
Well, I got Eliza over to hopefully film me digging up a nugget, and she's bragging about number 5 she's got off the mullock heap. There you go, my turn. Well, I've got Eliza over because, I mean, I found a few bits of junk around here, but this doesn't sound like junk. I mean, no guarantee, but I've given this a scrape and I'm getting a beautifully warbly sound off this one. And what I like is that I was following a line of quartz gravel up the hill. If you look down here, there's a lot of quartz, and this runs straight down to the very rich area down the bottom. And just up here, there's a lone prospector's hole where they've dug a hole here just to sample the ground because they've got a feeling the gold is coming down this hill. Obviously not rich enough up here for them to dig it out, but with the detector, let's hope that this is what I think it is. Look, almost immediately getting into good crushed quartz gravels here. Wow, that sounds good. Let's dig a bit deeper. Oh wow, it's out already. Let's see if we've got gold or whether we've got rubbish. Oh wow, wow, that's a bit better than we've been getting. Look at this. Wow. After getting those ones in the bank yesterday, moving across to this area was a good call, you know, and coming into this fairly natural ground here, you can tell by that prospecting hole up there that the ground's not that deep and it's just full of broken quartz. That's a lovely nugget. Let's have another look. Look at that. Give it a bit of a clean. Look at that. Lovely. That's got to go a couple of grams. Always fill your holes, guys. Nothing worse than coming somewhere and people haven't filled in behind them. Well, I thought I'd come and see how Eliza's going. I'm having a bit of a break and she's digging something here.
No.
Well, there's something down there. Well, let's see if it's still there. I'm not 100% sure this is natural ground, but if it is, look at that quartz coming out of that hole. Must be out by now. It's out finally. Is it in a bit of dirt? Hang on.
I can see it. It's the Kinder surprise.
Hang on, show me.
You see it?
That means you get the pleasure of opening it up.
No.
No, it's actually a solid piece of rock, so it's a specimen.
Yeah.
But it makes quite a noise. Well, it's definitely a specimen. You can see the gold. There's two areas of it, so it could be quite a nice piece buried in there. Wow, I'm really happy with that, honey. You must be too, hey?
Yeah, look at that.
Right deep inside, there was this almost solid quartz down the bottom of that hole. We'll wander back now and have a coffee. Eliza found two more small bits, so she's having a ripper of a day. Well, look at that smile. Eliza loves gold, and this is what came out of her specimen. Look at that. That's beautiful. Well done, honey. You've got to be happy with that.
Yeah.
What a great session that was. Eliza absolutely killed the mullock heap. She picked up 9 pieces this morning, including a beautiful specimen towards the end that was still in the ironstone. Look, and also I picked up a really nice piece at the top of the hill. Now, as I said, you've really got to read the signs that the old timers leave. That row of mullock heaps coming down the hill was telling a story. They were following the gold up that hill, and where I got the big piece was where the gold was thinning out and they hadn't bothered to dig it out. And Eliza was picking up heaps of little pieces off the top of the mullock heap, bits that they missed as they threw the dirt up onto the top of the mound. But there is something else I'd like to share with you. We're just on the way back from a holiday in Coober Pedy with my sister Janet and her husband Ian. They're on holiday from Wales, and Ian is a keen follower of our channel. He asked me to take him detecting, so on the way up to Coober Pedy, we stopped at the Whipstick, and guess what? Ian found his very first gold nugget, so I would just like to share a quick clip about that as well. Well, I thought it was time to have a break for the day, but Eliza just can't resist. She's heading back out there for another hour.
Yep.
Give me a call if you get something, honey. Take a look at this. Beautiful, rough little piece of gold there. Look at it. Beautiful. That's a bit bigger than the other ones, Eliza, too.
Yeah, no.
Wow, you're on fire. Well, Eliza's given me a go with the 6,000 right at the end of the day. And this is where she found her nugget. Where was it, Eliza?
Under that pile of dirt.
Just here.
Mm.
And I've had a target just here. Not sure if it's gold or not, but somewhere in here. Whatever it is in there, which looks very similar to the specimen that Eliza found earlier. Now, it could just be a piece of ironstone, but they've obviously tossed a lot of these bits up onto the mound because they can't see the gold. Well, it's not as big as Eliza's bit, but found very close, so we'll definitely be going back over that area tomorrow. Well, it's early morning on our final day here at Kingower, and I'm just going over this area where we found 2 specimens last night. But before I go any further, I've just had a call from Eliza that she's found another nugget about 100 meters over that way. So we'll go and have a look at that first.
A little bit bigger.
Wow. This isn't far from where I got that larger one yesterday.
No.
Let's have a look. Oh yeah, lovely. Look at that. Wow. Well done, sweetheart. Wow. Wow, you are really on fire. Not that deep either.
No.
But it's still in that really sort of like gravelly ground there. Yeah, I'm busy working away down on the mullock heaps where we got the specimens yesterday. No luck yet. But yeah, well done, honey. Well, I'm only about maybe 2 meters from where we got the 2 specimens. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh, beautiful little rough piece of gold, that. Well, you know, this has been a very successful trip, but it all started by noticing this run of mullock heaps going up the hill from a very rich gully. Now, I did say at the beginning there were a couple of different methods of detecting this area. One was to go up into the natural ground above where the last of the mullock heaps were. Now, that's where I found the biggest nugget by far, but I didn't find much else, although Eliza did find another one this morning. By far, the most gold has been on the tops of the mullock heaps. So you need to make that decision. Do you, if the mullock heaps are rich, to be honest, if you're just starting out, I would go there because you just want to find your first gold nugget and you will pick up heaps of small targets if you work these areas carefully. When you're a bit more experienced, go into that deeper ground above the line of mullock heaps into the natural ground. The gold will be sparse, but there is that chance of getting a bigger nugget. We've pulled out that many nuggets in this immediate area. 2 specimens just here and another one I dug up on camera just before over there. I'm getting a very slight signal here, but I just wanted to show you something. Look, this might not be a nugget, but one trick that I use is to go into deep mode. I've mentioned this before. If you've got a GPZ 7000, you go into normal mode. Now, normal sounds like you use it all the time, but it's not. It's for unmineralized ground and it goes very, very deep. But you get a lot of false targets. But often you'll pick up a target in a mullock heap which you just won't get if you use the standard mode, which is difficult on the GPZ 7000. Have a listen to this. First, I'm going into difficult mode. We'll just go over this spot really carefully. Nothing at all. No signal whatsoever. Now I'll put it into normal mode and you may, if you've got good ears, you may just pick up a very slight target. Can you hear that? Very quiet, but it's a repeatable sound. Probably a hot rock, but worth digging. Most of the time these are going to be hot rocks, but you will get a lot of gold you don't normally get. Now, that's definitely a little bit louder. I'm going to go back into difficult mode to see if we can hear it in difficult mode now. It doesn't go down so deep, but now that we've scraped a bit off, I mean, that's very faint, but you can now hear it in difficult mode. So this is a method I use all the time on the mullock heaps. Once I'm convinced that I'm in a rich area, I'll scrape the gravel off the top and go over in normal mode. You will pick up a lot of hot rocks. Some of those might be specimens, but you will pick up small pieces that you won't normally get. No, that's out of the hole now. Ah, tiny little piece, but a piece I don't think I would have got if I hadn't used the method that I showed you then. Just see it there. tiny little piece just in there. Very happy with that. We're on holidays. My sister Jan from Wales, and her husband Ian, and my brother Vince, and everyone knows Eliza. Well, we're on the way to Cooper Pedy, so there's not going to be much gold prospecting done, but you never know. I'm going to take Ian for a walk in a minute. You never know, he might just find his first gold nugget. And right up against any trees, any rocks you kick out the way. Ian's got a signal here, but I've got to be honest, it sounds a bit too good to be true, but let's just hope that this is Ian's first gold nugget. Whoa, that's making a nice sound. You need one of these. So put it over the coil. If this is a gold nugget, Ian, you know that some of my viewers go all year without finding the gold nugget. Here we go again. Oh my God, if this is gold, you'll be out behind the detector. Yeah, let's have a look. Stand up in the sun, Ian. Is it a lead shot or is it gold? There you go. Ian's first gold nugget. Look at that. Get it in the sun there. Beautiful little piece of gold. Well, there you go, Ian. You're now officially a prospector. Well, you know, it's going to be a while before we get Ian back. But I'm so happy for him. Sorry, Jan. You've lost your husband. He's absolutely hooked. Well, I hope you've enjoyed our little Kingower adventure. Look, we've had a great time over the last couple of days. We've picked up many nuggets. We're very happy, to be honest. And hopefully we've managed to pass on just a little bit of knowledge to help you find your first gold nugget. Look, if you've enjoyed this video, consider subscribing. It doesn't cost anything and you just get notified about new videos coming out. But until next time, I'm getting back to it. There's still a few more to pick out of this batch.